Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Looking for a new career? Welcome to Do HVAC Training Service Center in North Charleston. Enroll today in our comprehensive HVAC training hands-on field experience-based program, covering troubleshooting, maintenance, installation, and more on various HVAC systems and ductwork. We offer EPA and NAEP preparation and testing, along with various certifications. Enjoy payment options. Achieve certification in under 5 months. Enroll now for your new journey of skill development and career advancement. Log on to dewhvactrainingsc.com to inquire.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Having It All podcast. My name is Matthew Bivens, and I am thrilled that you're here hanging out with me on this beautiful Tuesday to talk about what it looks like to have it all. Yes, we're talking about having it all, A-L-L, an abundant, loving life. And if you're the type of person who believes you can have it all in this world, you can have the physical health that you want, the spiritual relationship that you desire, the sexual and romantic relationships that you truly want, the wealth that you can conceive of. If you believe all of that stuff is possible while also becoming a greater version of yourself each and every day and impacting the world in a powerful and empowering way, then you are absolutely in the right place. And I'm excited to jump into today's conversation with you. Today, I'm talking about the mind-body connection. That might be something you have heard about in the past. Maybe you've seen some blog articles on it or some YouTube videos or something, but today I'm talking about the mind-body connection, and in particular, I'm going to talk about the connection when it comes to labels and beliefs that we wear on. So this is a cool episode, and definitely will get you thinking about that mind-body connection. But first, let's kick things off with some magic. At the top of every episode of the podcast, I like to share magic, examples of when I have influenced myself, others, or life itself in an empowering way. And the reason why I do that is because you, me, all of us, we are magical beings. We are powerful beings. I'm not talking about magical in the Disney sense or like a magician or anything, but we have the ability to influence ourselves and the world around us. And we're doing it all the time. And we're creating and manifesting and influencing very empowering things. But if we aren't intentional about thinking of those examples, then it's so easy to miss it. It's so easy to miss it. It's kind of like gratitude. You know, if you aren't actively cultivating, a practice of gratitude, meaning if you aren't, intentionally thinking of things you're grateful for, it's easy to miss all the things that you have in your life to be grateful for. And it's easy to be frustrated and feel lack and all of that stuff. So with magic, it's the same sort of idea. And so I'm going to share a piece of magic from this past weekend. And then when I'm complete, I highly encourage you to pause the episode, like literally press pause, and think about a piece of magic from your life. So I recently had the chance to reconnect with a childhood friend of mine. And it has been a very, very fascinating reconnection process. And we've gotten to know each other again with about 15 years or so in between, who we know ourselves to be back then and today. So real quick, a friend of mine, we were buddies in middle school. In high school, we didn't really roll in the same circles, so we were just kind of acquaintances. We went off to different schools. Our lives went totally separate directions. We weren't the type of friends that we would stay in touch, and I literally never thought I would see the guy again in my life, and him the same with me. Until about 2 months ago, through his work, he was able to connect with a client of mine. And it's just so crazy. It's one of those like can't make this shit up moments. The way that the two of them connected, and then my name came up. And when my name came up, he was like, wait a minute, like Matthew Bivens? Like, let me go and let me look him up just to see if it was me that he was, the name was the same. So sure enough, it was the same person. He reached out to me. And like I said, I don't know, we probably last saw each other in 2004. So yeah, 15 years. 15 years later, we come back around and we reconnected. And what was really beautiful about it is how much alignment there is between what I'm playing for in my life, what lights me up, what I'm very interested in, and what he's very interested in as well. And so over those 15 years, both of us went through breakdowns, had our own little mini breakthrough epiphanies, had some challenging times, got a chance to really be humbled by life. And both of us, in our own ways, got on our personal development, self-help, personal mastery journey. And those journeys have gone the way that they've gone for each of us. But it was just so cool that this past Saturday, he was in town and he and I were able to link up. And we had about a 4-hour conversation between he and I and my coach. And it was just really, really amazing to just share with him what I'm up to and what I've been creating, and hear, what he's been learning, what he's been exploring, and to just have that meeting of the minds. It was truly beautiful. And I'm very excited for future conversations with him and to just continue to dig deeper. So that is magic to me. It really is magic. And I could expand a bit more on how, he actually did come across my client and then my name got brought up. But just trust that it's all one of those things like can't make that shit up moment. It truly was. And so that was my magic, just having that long conversation this past weekend. And Slava, man, I look forward to more conversations with you, buddy. It's going to be great. So now I encourage you to just pause the episode and think about an example of magic in your life. It can be big, it can be small. All of it matters. All of it's important. Just think about how you've influenced yourself, others, or life in an empowering way. And then we'll flow into listener love.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
For this listener love, I felt inspired to go into iTunes. That's where a lot of you listen to the show. You might be listening to it on Apple Podcasts right now, which used to be iTunes. And I want to read a review, but I don't want to read a 5-star review. So I want to read a 4-star review, just because let's read it all. So this review comes from, let's see, which one do I want? I got a couple 4-star ones. This was read the most recent one, February 6, 2019, from C.H. Menard on iTunes, aka Apple Podcast. They write, I'm new, but ... I'm totally new to the world of podcasts, but I just listened to the You Are What You Believe episode, and I'm obsessed. It's simple to understand and encouraging, not overwhelming. I'm also in much need of self-motivation and self-belief, so this spoke volumes to me. Y'all need to give a listen. That's awesome. Keep it up. So, cool. That was awesome. Thank you so much, C.H. Menard. I appreciate you dropping in, taking some time to leave a review and just share your true thoughts. I appreciate that. I really do. And, whether it's 1 star, 5 star, 0 stars, whatever, I'm all about feedback. I'm all about feedback. I mean, I talk about feedback in a lot of different ways on this podcast, on my Instagram. I have a lot of things in my life that give me feedback. So one of them are these reviews. And if you wanna drop on here and give me your review and just like honestly tell me what you think about the podcast in general, or maybe a specific episode, or share things with me that you want to see changed. Like, I want to hear that stuff. I can get into a vacuum with creating these episodes if I'm not hearing from you. So you can go to Apple Podcasts, aka iTunes, to leave your rating and your review. If you're in there, it'd be dope if you subscribed as well. I would appreciate that. Or you can also just reach out to me directly. Instagram is the best way to do that. I'm at Matthew_Bivens on Instagram, and we can jump into a conversation there. Or if you're more classic and you want to do email, mattcbivens@gmail.com. All those are ways for you to reach out, connect, leave me some feedback, leave me some ideas, or just say what's up. I appreciate all of it, and I would definitely love to connect with you. So thanks again, C.H. Menard, for your review. I dig it. All right. Let's talk about mind-body connection, specifically as it relates to labels, because we like to label other people, we like to label ourselves, and we very much like to wear on the labels that other people give us. Like, if somebody in your life has ever told you that you're lazy and you've just worn that on, and now you start to believe that you're lazy, well, then you understand what I'm talking about with labels. So today's episode was inspired by my other podcast. I do a podcast with Sarah called Doing It at Home, and it's all around empowering birth stories and really changing the narrative around birth. And if you didn't know, Sarah and I chose to do a home birth with our daughter, Maya. So that means that she was born in our master bedroom. She was born at the other end of the house from where I'm sitting at right now. And it was so incredible, so beautiful. I've never experienced anything like that. And I would do it home birth again in a heartbeat. I mean, our experience inspired us to start the podcast, Doing It at Home podcast. And that show is actually older than Maya. And through the course of that show, we've done 200 something episodes, I don't know, 250, I don't know, whatever it is. But we've had opportunity to talk to so many moms and so many partners and so many birth world people. And it's just been incredible. So we were talking to a mom, and she was sharing her birth story. And she said something to me that kind of set me off. She shared that while she was pregnant, I think it was while she was pregnant, the medical community wanted to label her a geriatric mom, which I guess the more PC term is advanced maternal age, because she was 40 when she decided to have her son. And so in the medical community, that is a very risky thing, right? To be quote unquote older and choose to have children. And if you can't tell by my inflection, I think all that is bullshit. I do. I'm just gonna put that out there. So that label of geriatric mom is basically any mom who's older than 35 years old gets labeled as a geriatric mom, or again, the more PC term, advanced maternal age. And I was thinking about that. I was really thinking about that. First of all, it just annoyed the hell out of me, because I understand the power of those labels. I understand it, and I think to myself, like, what do you think happens when a mom, a soon-to-be mom, who's already dealing with just the onslaught of emotions, of thoughts, of fears, and everything else that comes with having your first child, or your second, or your third. I mean, stuff comes up. So you're already dealing with that. And then you get slapped with the label of advanced maternal age. I thought to myself, what do you think happens to those moms? And that's what inspired me to want to talk about this, to talk about the mind-body connection, particularly as it relates to those labels that we take on. In this case, this mom was handed down that label. And she chose not to take it on. She was like, nah, fuck that. I am not about to go and experience the rest of my pregnancy in fear because of the label that you want to throw on me based on the studies that you've done and all this and that. No, thank you. And so she was a doctor and went about just taking care of herself and doing what she needed to do based off of what she knew about herself and what she understood about things like, nutrition and the mind-body connection and all these other things that, the medical professionals that she was seeing just weren't giving her that type of information. So she went about taking care of it herself. So I want to talk about mind-body connection right now, in case you are kind of unfamiliar with that term, and maybe you're like, okay, I don't really know what that means. I'm going to read a portion of an article. I think it's a great article on the mind-body connection from the Chopra Center. That's from Deepak Chopra. So he has this website called, I guess it's just chopra.com, or you can go to the Chopra Center. Look that up in Google. And this article is called Mind-Body Connection, Understanding the Psycho-Emotional Roots of Disease. And so I'm just going to read for you the first couple of paragraphs because it really does a great job of clearly and succinctly laying out what the mind-body connection is. And then I'll wrap this episode up by talking about it in relationship to labels. All right, so I'm going to read now. The article starts, for centuries, healers have pondered the connection between mental and physical health. In recent years, science has begun to recognize the powerful connections through which emotional, spiritual, and behavioral factors can directly affect health outcomes. As research in the field of mind-body medicine is finding, emotions and thought patterns can contribute to imbalances within the body, and therapies like hypnosis, visual imagery, meditation, yoga, and biofeedback are being used to reestablish balance and promote health. The beliefs you hold about yourself and the world, your emotions, your memories, and your habits, all can influence mental and physical health. I'll read that line again. The beliefs you hold about yourself and the world, your emotions, your memories, and your habits, all can influence mental and physical health. These connections between what is going on in your mind and heart and what is happening in your body form the psycho-emotional roots of health and disease. I think that is just beautifully, beautifully put. I'm going to continue reading. The mind-body connection happens on both a physical and chemical level. The brain is the hardware that allows you to experience mental states that are labeled, quote unquote, the mind. This concept of the mind encompasses mental states including thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and emotions. Different mental states can positively or negatively affect biological functioning. This occurs since the nervous and endocrine and immune systems share a common chemical language, which allows constant communication between the mind and body through messengers like hormones and neurotransmitters. For example, neurological pathways connect parts of the brain that process emotions with the spinal cord, muscles, cardiovascular system, and digestive tract. This allows major life events, stressors, or emotions to trigger physical symptoms. That's that connection, right? The major life events, the stressors, or the emotions actually trigger physical symptoms. And you may have experienced this aspect of the mind-body connection when you feel butterflies in your stomach, when you feel nervous, or when your heart feels like it's pounding out of your chest when you are under intense stress. Those two things are examples of that connection between mind and body. The last paragraph I want to read says, these intersecting systems help to establish the mind-body connection that influences the maintenance of health or the development of disease. For example, emotions like anxiety can trigger increased stress hormones, which may suppress the immune system and set the stage for the development of infections or cancer. So, mind-body connection. Folks, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And I love how this article has those two examples of, have you ever had butterflies in your stomach when you feel nervous? right? That feeling of nervousness, this whatever is happening in front of you or whatever you're thinking about in your mind that you're nervous about has this physical impact on your body, those butterflies in your stomach. Or similarly, when your heart starts to race, boom, 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 it's pounding out of your chest because you are under stress. Like we all know what that is like. We know what both of those things feel like. So we've each experienced that mind-body connection. And so when you wear on a label like geriatric mom, it can have a real, powerful, measurable impact on your body, physically, emotionally, chemically, because that connection exists. And so back to the doing it at home interview, when I'm thinking about this mom and how she was wearing, how she was handed that label of geriatric mom, what it was, advanced maternal age. God, that bullshit. Sorry. But, what could have happened? It didn't happen with her, but what could have happened, She could have worn that label on. And at various points throughout her pregnancy, maybe she started thinking about that. Maybe fear crept in, like, oh my gosh, I'm 40 and I'm in this advanced maternal age and, the risks have gone up and, oh my gosh, what happens if this X, Y, and Z happened to my child and I'm irresponsible and I can't, that sort of cascading effect of the fears can trigger all sorts of stresses in the body. Stresses happen.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
And so let's say that mom goes all the way to the 9 months, and now she's about to she's going into labor, and maybe some of those thoughts are still there. That advanced maternal age. Maybe the little voice is like, "You're too old for this. Like this isn't healthy. This is unwise. This is selfish." Right? And so the stresses kick in, and now her body is all tightening up, and because in order to give birth, what I've learned from so many of these conversations, it really helps to be as relaxed as possible and not feel stress, right? Because when you're feeling all of that stress and anxiety and that fear, your body tenses up, and that's the opposite thing that you want. You want the body to relax. You want to surrender in order to let the body do its thing so that it can move the baby down and out. And so what do you think happens when the body tenses up? Well, labor slows down. Things don't progress the way that they normally would. Mom can get tired. And then interventions are more likely to happen, right? And interventions might be, the forceps on the child to pull it out, or a C-section, or episiotomy. Episiotomy is basically cutting you from one hole to the other. Yeah, like actually cutting you. So all those different interventions can happen. And if we think back to what we understand about the mind-body connection, the body tightening and seizing up and not surrendering has happened because of the things that are going on in the mind in this example. So I want you to think for yourself, what labels are you currently wearing on? What labels have you taken and just slapped on your chest? Bop. Worn it like that. Hello, my name is sticker. Hello, my name is boop. What are you wearing on right now that's having that unhealthy impact on your body? What labels, what beliefs, what descriptions from others, things that other people have given you, are you wearing on like they're your own? And if you aren't too sure, one way that you can help to get at whatever those labels or those beliefs are is to sort of reverse engineer this thing. So if you think about something that makes you nervous, maybe it's an environment, maybe it's a person, or a conversation, whatever just constantly seems to make you nervous or anxious. have that in your mind. That is a trigger, right? Whatever that thing is, it triggers that nervous feeling. It triggers that anxiety. And the reason that thing is triggering you the way that it is because there's some sort of belief that's connected to that trigger, right? Like if you have a button that somebody's pressing, well, there's a little label above that button. So what's the belief? What's that belief rooted in? What's the label above your button? And who gave you that belief? Where did it come from? You know, it's like you already know that this belief doesn't serve you because of what it's doing to your body. So once you've done the little reverse engineering, right, looking at whatever it is that the pattern of what's happening in your body, go back to whatever that trigger is. Now, what's the belief that's connected to that trigger? Once you've done that reverse engineering, you have a new sense of awareness now. And so now with this new sense of awareness, you recognize that there's a belief hanging around or a label hanging around that doesn't serve you, that is not improving or lifting up your health. It's actually doing the opposite. Remember, because that label is connected to something going on in your mind and that mind-body connection. So it's doing something within your body that's not healing, it's not serving you, it's not for your benefit. So then what is a new belief that you can replace the unhealthy one with? The mom from Doing It at Home podcast that we were interviewing, you know, there was probably a number of different beliefs that she chose to replace that geriatric mom, pregnant mom, what was it again? Geriatric mom label with. She probably replaced it with so many different things. Like age ain't nothing but a number. If Janet Jackson could do it, I can do it too. You know, whatever it was a new belief. I can do this. I totally have the power to bring forth a beautiful, healthy child. Absolutely. You know, whatever the belief was, that could have been what she replaced it with. So for you, you know, think about it. What's the unhealthy belief? What's the unhealthy label that's creating whatever it's creating in your body? And now how you want to flip it? What's a new belief you want to insert in there and start repping? Because mind-body connection, that new belief is going to do something different in your body. All right. And if it's a healthy belief, if it's a belief that uplifts you, that empowers you, well, it's going to have some sort of healthy impact on your body as well. And so this sort of self-audit that I just walked you through, like this is the type of thing that I highly encourage you to do on a frequent basis. Like you want to be doing this type of thing consistently so that you can really pinpoint those labels, those beliefs, those ideas, those thoughts that are not serving you at all, that are having a serious impact on your overall health and well-being. Remember, when we go back to the article, where does it say? It talks about the connection, the mind-body connection influences the maintenance of health or the development of disease. So your mind-body connection right now, those labels that aren't serving you, those thoughts, those beliefs, like they're influencing your health. They can trigger different things in your body. You know, remember the article again says, for example, emotions like anxiety can trigger increased stress hormones, which may suppress the immune system and set the stage for the development of infections or cancer. It's not saying that an unhealthy thought leads to cancer. It's just saying that those thoughts that you have, those beliefs, those things that trigger anxiety, they can set the stage for something like a cancer or infection to come in and grow. It just creates the space for that. And so if you know right now that you live a lot of your life in fight or flight, like constantly stressed, you know, always or majority of the time you spend in a state of anxiety, high stress, tension, you know, let's look back at what thought you have or what belief or what label you're wearing on that is creating that result in your body, that's triggering that within your body. Because it's not serving you. It's definitely not healing you. It's not lifting you up. it's potentially setting the stage for something down the road to happen that you don't want to happen. And so, like I said, these little audits, that's what I call them. It's just like little scans. Let me just go through my thoughts and let me just see which are the ones that I know aren't serving me and how can I replace them. And and this stuff, you really need to be proactive in it. You got to be doing this on your own. This has to be something that you're motivated to do, to just eradicate those thoughts or just minimize them. Maybe they never go away. Maybe the thought of being an advanced maternal age never goes away for that mom. But maybe it's so small and so quiet that it has no chance of really showing up in that moment when that mom is needed to be in a supreme space of self-love, right? When she is in labor, when baby is making its way through and ready to come earthside. That's when, you don't want that voice to pop in and start talking and seize up your body. And so it may not be that we get rid of these thoughts or we completely get rid of these labels, but let's minimize them as much as we possibly can. And all of it starts with awareness. And now you're aware. You're a little bit more aware of the mind-body connection than you were 30 minutes ago. That's a beautiful thing. So just take some time. Think about it for yourself. Think about your mind-body connection. How are your thoughts impacting your body? One of the easiest ways to see it is just stress and anxiety, butterflies in the stomach, pounding heart. Those things are going to be connected to some sort of thought, most likely. So think about it. What's the thought? What's the belief? What's the label? And then what can you do to shift it? You've got the power. You do. And that's part of what having it all is all about. You want to live in that abundant, loving life. And so you want to let go of anything that's rooted in fear, scarcity. That doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you in the life you're looking to create, in the life that you're creating right now. And you can feel it in your body. And the body doesn't lie. The body can't lie. The mind can. The mind will tell you all sorts of things. Your mind will tell you all sorts of things are true that aren't true, are healthy that aren't healthy. It does it all the time. That's what our ego does. But the body can't lie. That's why mind-body connection is so beautiful. If the body is communicating to you in some sort of way, and anxiety, that's a form of communication. Butterflies in the stomach, that's communication. So when the body communicates to you, something is going on. You automatically know something is going on. So let's listen. Let's tune in. Let's be proactive. Let's be investigators, detectives. Sarah and I love watching the show Elementary, all about Sherlock Holmes and Watson. So let's put our detective hat on and let's figure out what's going on in there. What's going on in our mind that's connecting to our body, that's triggering all these different things. And let's figure them out and let's get rid of them. They don't serve us. Because I don't know about you, but I'm playing to have it all. And so I know those fears and those labels, none of that stuff is serving me right now. So I'm going to get rid of it. I invite you to do the same. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this episode. If you want to go read the full article that I just read a little snippet of, again, it's from the Chopra Center, CHOPRA. Just type in the Chopra Center into Google, or you can just type in mind body connection and the name Chopra, CHOPRA, and that will come up as one of the results. And the name of the article is Mind Body Connection: Understanding the Psycho-Emotional Roots of Disease. I totally recommend you go check it out. Go give it a read. And if this stuff, is something that you're interested in, just keep getting curious and keep reading more. There's a lot of literature out there on mind-body connections. There's studies, there's all sorts of stuff. So go immerse yourself because it's real. It's having an impact on your life right now, and you can do something about it. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is Matthew Bivens, and here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.